What are some of the most toxic or potentially dangerous ideas/beliefs that have been perpetuated by Redditors? Think about the subjects that you have an immense amount of knowledge about. Maybe you've spent your whole life studying it. Now think about all the times you've seen a well-written comment on Reddit with thousands of upvotes that is completely and verifiably wrong. Now think about all the subjects you know nothing about, and all the times you've learned something from a well-written comment with thousands of upvotes. Are you telling me that history's biggest public bathroom stall graffiti board, Reddit itself, is not to be trusted? This is the best description of Reddit I've ever read. We all poop in, bruh. Dude, don't at me, I just sat down. Still there? You'll read comments and think, wow, these people know so much about this topic, but then a topic will come up that you have expertise in, and you'll realize that people on this site just pull answers out of their ass with confidence. Also, after enough time here you'll start to realize the average demo is on the young side and has very little life experience. Keep that in mind when you scroll through the comments. There's so much stuff that could be debunked with a simple web search. Holy fucking shit. I'm going to make a Mythbusters Reddit themed YouTube video and become famous. Edit. For those of y'all taking me seriously, I'm way too lazy for that. Almost too lazy to even just watch it if someone else makes one. Almost. People no longer care about the truth. Make a YouTube video that validates their beliefs and makes them feel good and you'll become famous. I will make both and then, a few years later, hype up a fight between the two channels, where I reveal the truth. Everyone is an armchair psychologist. You post about feeling sad sometimes and inevitably someone is like that's because you have atypical depression and bipolar disorder, or whatever. Or if someone is having a fairly normal relationship issue, their partner is labeled a narcissist, sociopath, or a borderline or something. Today my so had a rough day and didn't tell me goodnight. Reddit, run immediately, too many red flags, end this relationship, you're better than that op. Bunch of 14-year-olds on like their word is gospel. Took the words right out of my fingertips. Reddit has a tendency to label people toxic and encourage relationship advice that isn't great. I always read to never take advice from an etc, and to be honest I unsubscribed from them. I read them every day and those issues seem worse than they actually are. People tend to go to others instead of their partners. Redditors don't know both sides. You're always going to hear leave, red flags, toxic. The only thing those subs are good for is when a truly clueless op posts something stupid and you get to see them shredded in the comments. They're like advice columns that way. One example of this, a medical doctor posts a well-written comment about the dangers of overprescribing antibiotics. Top comment of the thread. Tons of awards. Later a second-year med student posts a similar comment. Still well written, but maybe misses a few key points specifying how and why. Again, top comment of the thread. Gilded to the nines. Later a college freshman BO major writes a pretty bad summary of the situation, but it's part of the Reddit hive mind echo chamber so anyone who bothers to correct him gets misinterpreted and downvoted. And so on until someone literally tells me they read on Reddit that taking antibiotics is dangerous and will lead to a super disease that will wipe out humanity. Come on Reddit. Lol, it's just like the telephone game. My child's high school had the novel idea of using the telephone game to teach a bunch of teenagers how misinformation works. The beginning message was apparently something mundane about a statue outside. The end message was a list of various female students that are suspected to be pregnant. The admin really felt dumb after letting that go unmonitored in a school-wide assembly/demonstration. Edit at 881 upvotes. Plot twist, I made this up, making it misinformation itself. I actually feel bad. This is how misinformation works and I demonstrated it on a perfect thread. Really? Sounds like a success to me. It's quite likely that some nefarious character completely altered the message versus it gradually morphing, but it's still a good demonstration of what can happen with so many people in the chain. That people who use Reddit are somehow superior or more in the know about things than people who don't. Cringe. Instagram norm is stealing all our memes, as the next 90 posts are all screen caps of Twitter posts or memes originating from 4chan. What's funny is that there is no such thing as a perfect social media. Every single site is filled with the same groups of people. What's funny is that there is no such thing as a perfect social media. You have obviously never used MySpace. I would take back Tom as my friend, and endure 1,000 shitty autoplay songs and bleeny effects again in a heartbeat, seeing what it has been replaced by. Worshipping celebrities. 10-year-olds don't need to receive death threats, because he's never heard of a 55-year-old actor. Edit. I really didn't think I had to say this, but the kid didn't use Reddit. Redditors still banded together to harass and threaten him. He didn't violate the 13+ rule. Not that that matters, because you shouldn't send death threats to 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds, or adults for that matter. Can't believe that needed to be said. Hey Reddit, why do you like Keanu so much? Because of how nice he is. Why don't you follow his example? There is a joke about humanity's ability to follow the example of a saintly individual from Nazareth in there, but someone better with words will have to tease it out. Mahatma Gandhi, I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. They are so unlike your Christ. Not sure if I have the exact quote, but that's the gist. Along a similar line, the greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians, who honor Jesus with their lips, then walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyles. That is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. Brennan Manning. The Boston Marathon bomber. Reddit started a whole shitstorm by identifying a missing person as one of the bombers. Sunil Tripathi was the innocent person that got mistaken for one of the bombers. There was a lot of fallout and users tracking down family members, friends, and even high-profile news people sending out messages that it could be the bomber. There was an episode on Newsroom about this. Well, Jeff Daniels even had a small rant about social media and Reddit, in particular Reddit. For anyone interested, here's the link. That show was such a gem. It's a shame we only got a few seasons. Holy fuck, can you imagine Newsroom with the 2016 campaign to present for material? This administration has provided like 3 decades of material for that show so far. Too many people are knowing, assimilate into the hive mind. Like, if you start to agree with all the most upvoted posts every day, and get angry/upset when someone makes a valid point against what is clearly right/correct, to Reddit, it's time to back away slowly. I'd argue the opposite as well. People on Reddit often have a desire to be contrarian, to argue against hive mind/popular topics, sometimes excessively or toxically. There's kind of a spectrum of popular and anti-popular on here. If the devil ever needed an advocate, Reddit is like a job fair.